In this video, we are going to show you how to complete the guided project. Inside your SimNet main account, click on the guided project. In order to start this guided project, you'll need to have access to the start file, the instructions, and if necessary, resources. And you can launch these items automatically by clicking on the Download Start File button, which is right here. Whether you are working on a Word assignment, an Excel assignment, an Access assignment, or a PowerPoint assignment, if you need to rename your file, the process will be the same for all of the programs. Simply head up to the left-hand corner of the program and click on the File tab. Then select Save As. Next, you'll choose a location to save the document. In this case, I'm going to save it on my computer. However, you may choose to save it on your thumb drive or perhaps cloud storage. Once you saved your file, you can now begin to work on your assignment. So let's begin. Now, if you come up to this protected view, and sometimes this happens, this is a protected read-only view, meaning you can't click and make any edits. You just simply need to click on the View tab, Edit Document. Now you're off and running. Step 3. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to change the margins, the alignments, the line spacing, a whole bunch of items. And this is why you need to be playful with Microsoft Word. You need to have gone through, not necessarily in this project right now, but if you want to stop this, go back, open up another Word document, and just play around and click on all the little buttons. For instance, these little buttons in the lower right-hand corner of the groups, they're called launcher buttons. And you can see when you click on them, they give you a whole host of choices. And they're in the bottom right-hand side of every single grouping of items. So go through here, click on all the tabs, see what's listed in each tab so you have an idea where things are. Click on the little launcher button so you see what happens. That's how people get good with this program. It's not magic. You're not born with it. You just have to play around. Step 3. Step 3A. It says on the page layout button, click on the margins. And I have to go very slow to make sure I'm saying this correctly, so I apologize with the pace of this. Now in here you'll see that there are lots of different choices. One of the choices says normal, and when you click this, it automatically sets the margins all the way around, top, bottom, left, right to one end. So I click it one time, and now my margins are set perfectly. That completes step 3A. I should say that completes step 3B. Step 3C. Click the Page Setup Launcher button. Okay, well this is the page setup area. Lower right-hand corner is the Launcher button. It says click the Layout tab. That's 3D. 3E. In the Page area, right here, change the vertical alignment to center. That means things are aligned vertically and it centers them. F. Click OK. You can see how things shifted a little bit. Now hit Control A. Time out here, folks. This is a crucial task. This is a crucial tip in Microsoft Word. In fact, all the Microsoft products. Anytime you want to select the entire document, Control A is the best way to do it. Are there other ways? Yes. What the rookie or amateur Word user will do is they'll put their cursor in the upper left-hand corner and then start highlighting the document. Don't do this because sometimes you don't highlight the entire document. If I hold down the Control button, then hit A, it selects the entire document. This is how you want to do it. Next, it says change the font to Calibri. And I may be pronouncing that wrong. I don't think I've ever said it right in my life. Now, you need to get back to the Home tab. On the Home tab, in the font grouping, here are all your font choices. If I click on this, one of the choices is Calibri. I apologize for saying that wrong. Now, if it's not there, you can simply scroll down and find it. Or you can start typing it in and find it. Here it's already, I can see I used it in the recent past, so it's up top. So that changes it to the right font type. Now you want to change things to 12-point font. Very important that you do this, especially when you're doing college essays, because majority, I would say 99% of your instructors want you to use 12-point font. So if your entire document is selected, simply click on 12 and you should be good to go. Okay, we're almost done. Next, change the line spacing to double. There's a couple different ways to do that. Let me just click on here. You can see there are some options in here. But now, in order to change the line spacing to double, in the paragraph area, there's a couple different ways to do this. There's a little launcher button in the lower right-hand corner of the paragraph button. You can see that the line spacing is set to single. In this document, it wants double, or 2.0. So I click on double, then we'll click the OK tab. Now, it also says turn on the show hide button. This is something unfamiliar to many folks, but please keep in mind this is a very important tool to people who know how to use Word. I'm on the Home tab, and there's this little button. It looks like a musical note or a backwards P. I click on it, and look what happens here, folks. Can you see what happens? It puts these little backward P's all over. These buttons, these new symbols, will not show up when you print. Sometimes they call them non-printing characters. But what they do is they show you what's going on behind the scenes. And this can be very important. If you've ever been lost in your document, you don't know how many times you've used the space, the enter button, well, this is one way to show you. Because every time someone hit the enter button, it leaves one of these little backward P's. So in this case, it tells you where all the spaces are. It'll also tell you where the indents and the tabs are and other things. So it's very important that you understand this. So step 3K says turn on the show hide button and then delete all the blank spaces in between the lines of text. So with the show hide button on, I can just put the cursor there, click the backspace or delete button, and it'll get rid of all of these. Okay, it looks like I got all rid of the blank spaces in between each particular line. All right, well, before I move to step 4, what I like to do when I'm going through projects and I've completed a hard step is I like to check it and see if I'm on the right track, because sometimes when you go through a project, if there's 11, 12, 13, 14 steps, is you go through the grader and then you grade it. The problem is if you made mistakes in the early part of your project, it sometimes affects all of the other steps. So once in a while, I like to go through and throw this through the grader and see what's going on. So I'm going to click pause, or I'm going to click save. I'm going to minimize this. Then I'm going to upload the file. And I'm going to look for my most recent file. Now there's many ways to find it in here. I have a ton of things because this is my work computer. You can click on this little downward button. It says date modified. And if you click on the current date, it'll only show files that have happened just that day. In this case, here's the latest version. I just double click it. It's going to upload it. Let's throw it through the grader. And let's see what happens. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Well, this is actually good news. And why it's good news is because on the left-hand side are all the steps. Step 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, since I did step 3 correctly, there are no errors over here yet. So I already have some points, which is good. So I've already done something well. If I didn't, I could go back into the document, go back and correct it. I could even use the undo button up here to go back several steps, go back and fix my error, save it, and then throw it through the grader. A word of warning though, if your instructor only allows, let's say 7 or 10 times 5, 10 times that you can save this, well, you wouldn't want to go use the grader every single time. You may want to go through the entire document, throw it through the grader. Now, in my courses, I'm Professor Scott Straub. I allow students to upload it an unlimited number of times. But if your professor doesn't allow that, then you'll want to just go through the project, run it through the grader, and then see what you get. So just a little word of warning there. Okay. Step 4, add text to the document. All right, 4A. It says click after seller in the second line of the text. And I have to go very slow here to make sure I get this right. Then it says press tab once. Then it says click property address, or I should say it says type property address. It's 4B. Click after escrow company. Press tab once. And you can see with the show hide buttons on here, you can see that a tab leaves a little arrow to the right. This tells you that there's a tab in place, and this can be important information. Then it says type escrow number. Please make sure you get this correct. That's why I'm going slow, to make sure I do this correctly. It's escrow and then the number sign. Oh, you are not going to type in the little periods on the instructions, so don't add the period. Just type in the words, or in this case the word and the number symbol. That's 4D. Click after tasks to be completed. Tab over. Type in date completed. Step 5. In this step, we're going to set tab stops. Now, what a tab stop is it allows you to vertically align your text straight with an edge. Now, what a rookie or a novice word user will do sometimes is if they want to align things, let's say they want to align things right here. I'm not going to do this. So click on the text, and then they'll hit enter a whole bunch of times, and then they'll go to the next line and hit enter. Well, what doesn't happen is often it doesn't allow things to align vertically. So there's a couple different ways that professionals align things vertically in a document. One way is to set up tables, and we're not going to do that in this exercise, but you can set up tables to align text in a document. In fact, it's a good way to do it. The second way is they use tab stops, meaning when you hit the tab button, wherever you select on the ruler up here, it'll align everything underneath that directly and perfectly. So the first thing that you should have is your ruler. Now in 2013 the ruler appears automatically, but if for some reason it's not here, first of all it probably means you're in the wrong version of Word, but if it's not there, click on the View tab, Ruler, make sure it's check marked, and the ruler will appear. Okay, step 5A. It says select the second and third lines of the text. And I've done that. Step 5B. It says ensure that the left tab stop is selected. In the upper left-hand most corner of the ruler, the left edge of the ruler, you may not be able to see this on your video. It looks like a little L. There, if you click it again, it's a little square box. It'll change it to center tab, then right tab, and then a few other features. You can click it about 5 or 6 times, maybe 7. Keep toggling it around. You have to get it till when you hover it over, it says left tab. Looks like an L in the left-hand side of the ruler. This is crucial. What this will do is, for the selected text right here, when I click on the ruler, watch what happens. It says click on exactly 3.5. You may have to do this a couple times. You have to click in the exact right spot. So just click on the ruler until you get it. The bottom part of the ruler, right where it tells you on this area it's 3.5. You'll see a little L. That means the left-hand tab stop. I pressed in another step, in step 4, we pressed the tab once. And in doing that, it aligned everything up vertically. These two, the first tab stop is aligned right here on the left-hand edge. Nice, it makes a nice, sharp, crisp edge. Step 5C. It says, that was step 5C, I'm sorry. 5D. It says select the fourth line of the text. And 5E, click the tab selector and make sure the tab selector is on the center selection. Now here's what this means. It means wherever we put the tab selector, I know in this case it's going to be here at 5.5. In fact, I'll just do it. Now you have to be very careful where you click. Just click once. If it doesn't happen for you, go a little bit lower on the ruler. There we go. It has to be the very bottom part of the ruler. Now notice this. See the center tab stop? If you follow it down, notice how the text here is aligned right in the center, where over here this text is aligned on the left-hand edge. This is the center edge. So it's just yet another way to align things in your document. Step 6. This is where we're going to set the tab stops and leaders to create user lines for people to fill in information. This is how, if you've ever gotten documents, this is how they do it. This is how the professionals do it. They do it just like we're doing right here. It says select the second and third lines of text. Make sure you get all the way over and make sure you include that non-printing character, that last enter backwards P. Okay, that's 6A. Once again, I'm going very slow and clicking off things as I go through them. Step 6B, click the paragraph launcher. Now you have to make sure that you're on the home tab. Paragraph launcher is right here. Lower right hand corner of the paragraphs group. Click the tabs button. It's in the lower left-hand corner. Now pay attention here, folks. This can be challenging. Do exactly what I'm doing, exactly what the instructions say. In the tab stop position area, that's this area up here, it's probably already selected, it's probably already highlighted in blue. It says type in 3. I typed in 3. Now in the alignment area, click the right radio button. And I'm taking my time, checking off things as I go. Then it says in the leader button. A leader is basically, it's a line or a series of dots after something. So I'm going to click the solid underline. I'm sorry, folks. I'm doing two things at a time. It says click the 4. And that'll be the solid underline. There we go. And then click the set button. That's going to set this tab. You can see now we have some tabs set. Now it says in the tab stop position, click 6.5. Make sure it's highlighted. 6.5. Then click the right radio button. It's already clicked. Click the 4. That'll put a solid underline. Then click the set button. Then OK. Step 7. We're going to use the tab stops to align text. There's only a few little steps in here, so just pay attention. We'll get this done quickly. Step 7A. Place the insertion pointer before the property address. Press tab once. And you can see how it continued with that line there. That's because of the work we did in step 6. 7B. Click after the property address. Click tab once. Now you can see an underline there as well. So that's looking pretty good. This is how the professionals create the documents that you've seen. They use tab stops. Place the insertion pointer before escrow number. Press tab once. That's looking pretty good. After. And that's looking pretty good. Now I have the solution sheet in front of me and I can already see that this looks about the way it should look. So I know that I'm on track. That completes step 7. I'm not going to throw it through the grader right now. I'm going to complete step 8. So step 8, apply styles to selected text and then modify a style. Okay, this is important. This is crucial to your life to understand styles. If you look up here, I'm on the Home tab. If you look here on the right side, you'll see there's a whole large section dedicated to styles. Now, what a style is, it's a preset font, color, size. It's preset headings that if you just highlight whatever text you like and then click on one of these styles, it'll make it that style instantly, which is really nice. So let's get on to step 8A. Place the insertion point in the first line of text. It doesn't matter where you put it. I'll just click right here. You can see the cursor, the insertion pointer is blinking. And then it says select the title style. This is a very common one and you'll probably use this a lot. I click that once and look what happens. Now I have to click it. I have to literally click the tile to make that work. The entire line up here is now that style. Can you modify it? Absolutely, but it's that style. So that's 8B. Now click after the paragraph, says change the after paragraph spacing to 24. So what you need to do, it says page layout tab. In the paragraph group, change that to 24. Here's one of the odd things about Word. Every time that you hit the enter button, Microsoft thinks that you're creating a new paragraph. That's what they call it. Even though a lot of times this isn't a new paragraph in your mind, Microsoft thinks it is. How do you know there's an enter hit after this? Because you can see this backwards looking P. This is the show hide button. You can turn them on, turn them off. This lets you know that enter was hit. Now, when you went to page layout, paragraphs group, it says after a paragraph, you want to add a little bit of space. And that's why a little bit of space was put right here. Okay, this is step 8E. Select tasks to be completed. Pay attention here, folks. See, now I'm only highlighting tasks to be completed. It's hard to say here this morning. Apply the book style. Well, I don't see the book style up here, but there's a little drop down arrow that'll open up more choices. And I can see over here on my screen, you may have to look down a little bit further. It's right here. So I select that. And I just lost my space. I apply it by selecting it. 8F. Okay. 8G. And I'm making sure that I get this right. With this still selected, it wants me to change it to 14-point font. And then put a double underline. I'm on the Home tab. Right next to the underline, there's a little drop-down arrow. You may have never noticed it before, but if you click it, there's lots of different underline choices. In fact, there's even more choices under here. A lot of cool ones. Well, here it says just use the double underline. So you can already see that the double underline is selected there. Now, it says right-click the book title. Now, I still have this selected. Right-click the book title, and it says update book title to match selection. That means exactly what it says it means. It means I've changed this a little bit, and now you can actually make this style book title. So I'm just going to click on this. And what that means is every time I highlight text in the future and I click book title, it'll look like this. For example, it says select date completed. I don't think it matters if you get the paragraph marker or not, but I'm going to hit that anyway. I'm going to make sure that I get the backwards looking P. And then I'm going to click book style. And then notice what happens. This style is the same as this style. Step 9. Create a bullet list to the selected text and then apply a custom bullet. This is a cool way to add interesting bullets. So, step 9A, select the remaining lines of text, starting with open escrow. So you can see that I selected all of them. Click the bullets drop down. Now I could choose one of these ones right here, but it wants me to select a specific bullet. And there are literally hundreds of choices. So I click define new bullet, and keep in mind I have all this selected. Then click symbol. Now it wants me to choose the wingdings style. Like I said, there are so many different styles. There's about 24 different styles. If wingdings is not selected, it may or may not be. You just have to use this vertical scroll bar. Select wingdings. Now I did this previously because I've tried this several times before I shot the video. However, if you just click on any of these choices, you can see that the character code appears down here. I need character code 113, and I need to flip over my instructions. And it says the open square, so I click on this square. Nope, that's 114. Oh look, there's 113. Then it says click OK to close that box. Click the font button. This is where you can choose the fonts for your defined bullets. Select 14. Now I did this before. I think for you it defaults on 11 or 12. I did this as an example, so it's on 14 already. I clicked on 14 just to verify it. Click OK. And then click OK to close that. Lastly, it wants me to use the decrease indent button to align the text with the left-hand side. Now, once again, since I practiced this before I shot the video, it defaulted on the text being aligned to the left because I've done this previously, but if you did it the first time, chances are the bullets are lined up a little bit further to the right. So these are the indent buttons to the left and to the right. You just simply hit the decrease indent button, and that should move everything over to the left-hand side. And that completes step 9. Let's move on to step 10. Change the hanging indent and add tab stops. Now this is some of the more advanced features in Word, but we'd like to show these to you so you know what the possibilities are. It says select the bulleted list. Now I have the bulleted list selected. If I did not, you could just simply highlight that. I like to start from the back and go up, but you could go from the top down. That's step 10A. 10B, click the paragraph launcher. Change the hanging indent to 0.03. You can see this says indentation. That means how much space from the left-hand margin are you going to add. And you can read more about hanging indents in your sim book. That's step 10C. 10D, click the tabs. And now we are going to do a similar thing that we did in step 7 or 8, where we added tab stops. In the tab stop position, put 4.5. Click the left alignment button. Then click none. And what this is going to do is you'll see in a few moments. The first time you hit tab, nothing will happen. But the second time you hit tab, a line will appear. Just trust me on this. So I click set. And now I'm going to, in the tab stop position, I'm going to type in 6.5. Click the right radio button. It's going to align it right. Click the solid underline. Hopefully you can see what's happening here. You can set this so when you hit the tab button, it'll add lines or not add lines. So I'm going to click set. I'm going to click OK to close that out. I just clicked anywhere to get off that highlighted area, It says place the insertion pointer after open escrow with escrow company. This is where these show hide characters really come into play. You can see exactly where to click. So when I hit tab once, hopefully nothing happens. Nothing happens. That's because when I set that first tab stop, I said do not add any underlines or anything like that. But if I hit tab again, starting at this location, you can see a line appears. Repeat the steps above for the remaining bulleted list. And notice how nice and neatly things are lined up. This is how the professionals do it, folks. Does it take a little bit of work and practice? Absolutely. But just know this is how the professionals do it. And you want to make your stuff look professional. And that completes step 10. Step 11, add text to the document. Press enter after the last line of text in the document. And you can see, it wants me to do it over here, the last line of text. It says click the bullets button. And you can choose none. And if you had your solution sheet, you would see that this is going to have a certain line of text and it does not have a bullet associated with it. So I turned off the bullet for that line. And then it wants me to type in. And please do this exactly the way you see it. Don't add anything extra. Get the spelling, get the spacing right. Fax email. Clear pest report. And press enter. Type title and press enter. Type lender, press enter. Type buyer's agent, make sure you get this right with the apostrophe S. Buyers. Every time I go fast, I mess things up. And that completes step 11. We're pretty close, folks. Just hang in there. Just a few more steps left. Step 12. Apply a style to select the text and use the format painter. This is extremely valuable. Select the fax and email pest report line. Select it and apply the subtitle reference style. So I'm just going to open this up. I see it up here, but I'm just going to open all of these up so I can see. And make sure that I get it correctly. Subtitle reference style. It says click one of the bulleted items. That means one of the previous bulleted items. Click Format Painter. Now I'm going to double click this. It turns on the Format Painter. What the Format Painter does is it copies formats that you've already done in the past and you can quickly add them to future selected text. Just pay attention here. Select the last 3 lines of text and release. You can see that it copied this format. Now, I told you to double click. You technically did not have to do it here. If you click Format Painter once, it'll allow you to copy the format one time and then it'll go back to the normal mode. I don't know if you can see this on your video. It looks like a little paintbrush there. That's because the Format Painter is still on. To get rid of that Format Painter, if you happen to double click it, you simply just hit Escape and it gets back into the normal mode. But I only had to click it once there, but that's how you keep the Format Painter on for a longer period of time. Now it says click Tab twice. Because what it did is it copied all of the formats for that entire line, and it makes it really nice. Now I'm clicking after the title and after the lender, hitting tab twice, and you can see that the document is starting to take shape. It's looking like the solution. So we're pretty close. In fact, we're very close. Insert a document property field, the date and a border in the footer. So click the footer button. Anytime you need to insert something, go to the Insert tab and see if the choice is there. Click the footer button, and one of the choices says Edit Footer. And you can see that a new tab is now open and available to us. Could we click on other tabs? Absolutely. But you have to make sure, if you want to modify the header or the footer, you're clicked on this tab right here. So I'm going very slowly. It says now, this is step 13C. Click the Quick Parts button. So now I look up here and you will see over here, this is called Quick Parts. This is a way to quickly add items into a header, or in this case, a footer. Click Document Property. I'm going to hover over that and select Company. (13E). Press the arrow key once to deselect the company field. And you can see I clicked the right arrow and it deselected the company field. Press tab twice. Pushes it all the way over to the left-hand side. Type last updated. And press the spacebar once. Now the text aligns to the right side of the footer. Click the Date Time button. Header and Footers group over here. The Date Time dialog box opens up. Select the third option, month, day, year. Month, day, year. And click Update Automatically, the checkbox. Click OK. And now you can see this text stays, but what you've done is inserted the feature that every time that you save this document and then reopen it, it'll tell you the last time that you've updated it. This is how the professionals set up documents. I clicked OK to close that. Then it says, this is J, select all the text in the footer. I'm just highlighting everything. Going back to the Home tab, selecting the correct font, and changing it to 10-point font. A lot of times, information in a footer or header, especially in the footer, will be slightly smaller than the document. It helps set off the fact that it's a footer. It's not part of the main body of the document, it's the footer. It's not always this way, but oftentimes you will see it that way. Okay, click the Borders drop-down arrow. So we need to be on the Home tab. And then we need to head over here to the Borders drop-down arrow. And you have lots of different choices here. Select Top Border. And you can see I still have the footer selected, and what I'm doing is adding a top border to the footer. And if you had the solution in front of you, you would see that it looks pretty much this way. Now finally, I need to click the Design tab here, the Header and Footer tools, and it says Close the Header and Footer. Now, if you were on the Home tab, there's a couple different ways. that you could have changed the font styles. So if you clicked on the home tab, that's great. If you were in the header and footer design box, there's ways to get it in there. But either way, you have to close the header and footer. Okay, save and close the document. When you're ready to have your project graded, come back to the Guided Project main page and choose Upload and Save. Select the appropriate file. Once your file is uploaded, you can select No, I'm not ready, and this will allow you to go back and continue working on the project. If you are ready to submit it for grading, choose Yes, Submit the file. If this screen is not available to you, you can always choose Grade My Project, and this will also allow the project to be graded by the SimNet system. Good luck, everybody.